Greetings, family, peace, love, and black power. This is Guru. Thanks for visiting my channel. Kyle Johnson, pictured here, he wants to become a cop. His family and friends are asking, are you sure? Family, let's go to this vlog. So Kyle Johnson sits in his apartment after coming home from his 5 a.m. shift. He recently graduated from the Police Academy College, where he learned what it would be like to be a black police officer in Baltimore. Here's part of Kyle Johnson's history. He grew up in Baltimore. He's been arrested. He's even been slammed to the ground by a police officer. But now, all he wanted was to be one. So Kyle Johnson flipped through his mail. It was a Wednesday in July, and he had just come home from his 5 a.m. shift at the airport, where he spent 8 hours moving baggage around planes. A safe job, the kind that no one has an opinion about. Well, Kyle found the envelope he was hoping wouldn't be there. It was from Morgan State University's police department, the first agency Kyle applied to after graduating from a community college police academy. If they had wanted to hire him, they would have called. Okay, he told himself, on to the next. The next logical place to go would be Baltimore, where he grew up. After all, they were actively recruiting and hiring minorities, and they were hiring locals who knew the city and its problems. But family, just that day, the Baltimore Police Department would be on the news again, and at his lunchtime at the 12 o'clock news, he saw that the officers involved in the Freddie Gray case, all charges had been dropped. In other words, no one was held responsible for the 25-year-old man who, in a coma, in the back of a police van, died. Then 2 weeks later, the Justice Department would determine the Baltimore police had disproportionately used excessive force and targeted black people. So family, already Kyle's Facebook feed was full of opinions on this new development in what seemed a never-ending story of never-ending conflict. More black men dead in Minnesota, in Baton Rouge, police officers slain in Baton Rouge, in Dallas. Each time his friends and families fumed about injustice and fear. Kyle, though, kept his opinions to himself. Rarely did anyone seem to have a solution, except, he thought, the Dallas police chief, who gave a news conference to say, quote, "We're hiring. We'll help you resolve some of the problems you're protesting about," the chief, David Brown, had said. Family, you all remember that. And then that's what Kyle wants. If the battle is between cops and black people, maybe the solution is to be both. Well, family, I'm just going to say to Kyle Johnson, with all due respect, brother, I know that you plan and you want to do the right thing, and I applaud people just like you. But people like you, just like we found out with the sister who posted her video on fellow police officers wearing the same uniform she wears, who are cowards and who are killers, they went after her the same way they'll come after you. You've heard of friendly fire? Brothers like you who get on the police force and you think you're going to turn things around in a white, a racist, white supremacist system, you are naive, brother. You are naive. Friendly fire may come upon you. I hate to say it. I've read this story, so I see what his girlfriend, Tanika, we'll get to that. I'm not even going to spoil that. I digress. Let's go back to the article. So everything seems to be lining up for Kyle Johnson. He's moved out of his mom's house into his own apartment for his son. He also proposed to his girlfriend, Tanika, who is pictured here. And just a lot, and then he graduated from the police academy. Kyle Johnson marched in uniform to accept his graduation certificate from the Anne Arundel Community College Police Academy, while Kason, his son, stood on Tanika's lap yelling, "Go daddy, go daddy." Kyle didn't see it, but it made Tanika cry. He promised her he will be the good cop. The academy taught him How? He just needs to follow his training and document everything. Well, all cops are supposed to do that, but that just doesn't happen. This guy, like I said, I don't know what to say. This guy just seems to be very naive. But anyways, he learned that when there are bad apples in law enforcement, all the other apples can smell it. He has decided that he'll be the one who reports them. Yeah, that's not going to go over so well. Maybe he'll be the one of those officers who goes viral for having a dance off with kids or buying a car seat for someone who can't afford it. If he does his job right, he told Tanika over and over, he'll come home safe. He wants to believe it is that simple, but she knows better. Yes, Tanika, you know better because you're not naive. He is very naive. I hate to hear brothers like him. I really do. He's so naive. Now, brother man Kyle, if you think that you're going to be that one lone ranger who's going to turn in the bad cops, here's what happens. You could go to a situation, a really bad situation, and you need backup. You need backup because it's a shootout and your life is threatened. As a matter of fact, you're involved in an ambush. You call for backup, they don't even hear you. You know what they do when they hear your voice? They turn the radio off. Brother man, you are naive. You're naive. You watch the news and you probably watch and get all your information from mainstream media, which is the worst thing you could do, especially as a black man. You're naive to believe the things that you're saying, okay? So family, I'm going to give you a little bit of history of Kyle Johnson. He grew up in Northeast Baltimore, an only child with a school teacher mom and a warehouse working dad. He learned about life through baseball, where his worth depended not on his race or family's income, but on his skill and dedication and heart. He had lost a cousin to gun violence, had been evicted on the day of his high school graduation, had seen enough of the city's problems to know that he wanted to be a part of the solution. Well, I applaud you for that, like I said. But to her, he still seemed sheltered, naive. Exactly. Tanika could rattle off all the rundown houses her mother had moved their family of 5 in and out of. Federal Street, Biddle Street, Eagle Street, Lucerne Avenue. At each one, her mother's tumultuous life would bring the cops to the door. She knows Kyle won't treat people the way they were treated. She knows he will try to form the kind of trust between police and community people always say is missing. Sure. So family, I am skipping part of this because I do want to get through this and I don't want to make it long drawn out or put in fluff. So I'm going to get to this part here. It says when these officers come around from different backgrounds, they judge, she said. They just think, oh, that person is a criminal without thinking about why. Yes, or the possibility that they're not. But there's another side of the story she knows. There are the people who do hate the cops. She imagines her good cop out there being polite and responsible and open-minded, and somebody can take him or her for granted and can lose his or her life. Tanika started talking faster. This was her big fear, the Ferguson effect, they called it on the news. Officers fear being seen as the next bad cop, so they hesitate to use force and then they become the victims. Well, we have seen that, and that's a very unfortunate situation, and I'll repeat it here in this vlog that unfortunately the cops themselves created that type of environment. I'll repeat it again. The cops themselves created that type of environment to where they have to second guess because of their actions or because of some cops' actions, I'll say. Okay, because some people just don't give a F at all, she said. He might be out there, meet that person and ask them what the problem is, and they pull out a gun because on that day they've had enough. And what about the day that he's had it? She wondered. The day he messes up and somebody pulls out a camera to record it. I think cops are scared. I think that black people are scared, she said. It's a battle. Okay, so with reality, Kyle knew why the first police department he applied to rejected him. Because at most departments you can't have a criminal record. And 3 years ago, he got in a fight with a coworker at the airport. He got probation for a second-degree assault, a misdemeanor. It won't disqualify him forever, but he had to get his record expunged. Last year, he went through the process, hiring a lawyer, getting a letter of recommendation from his professor, all the paperwork. Okay, it was granted in May. He thought his record would be cleared by the time he submitted his first application in June. I guess it takes a while, he sighed. So meanwhile, Kyle took on working overtime, working a second job rather, to make the money to save up for him and his girl's wedding. They plan on getting married. And so, I'm sorry, family, I digress. He worked double shifts. He didn't get a second job. He worked double shifts to save up the money for the wedding. And in this process, he worked hard to find discounts for halls where they could hold their wedding, the wedding dress for his girl, everything he's tried his best to do. He would have had about $9,000 more, but he spent that money on the police academy. The police academy was a 10-month program, and again, he shelled out $9,000 for that. So at this point, he is just waiting for to get the job. So of course his girl would say, are you sure you want to do this? Don't you want to do something else, like maybe being a firefighter? They wondered whether friends or relatives would call him a sellout, maybe an Uncle Tom. Kyle would repeat what his professors had told him, quote, "This is the best time to be an officer because there are changes being made." Quote, "If everything police are doing is wrong, how about you try to fix it?" And then last but not least, there's risk in every job. Well, again, I mean, even looking at this picture of Kyle Johnson with his son, what's his son's name again? Kaysen, Kacen. That's an interesting name, but nonetheless, I have a problem because as I'm looking at this father-son picture, all I could think of is all the sons and daughters who are now fatherless from the police shooting their fathers and killing their fathers, and or the fathers incarcerated or killed at the hands of another African American or black person. I feel it just hurts me, it pains me to see dads. I love to see dads with their sons like this. It pains me to have to visualize not seeing that dad there because of how our society is. It pains me. That's what pains me. Anyways, family, I'm not going to make this vlog too much longer. So, family, I'm going to end with this. I really hope that Kyle Johnson, his beautiful girl, Tanika, become the happy family that they plan to be. And maybe that Kyle Johnson reassess his decision of being a police officer. I would not speak against it if police officers weren't doing the things that they were doing to people of color. I wouldn't have a problem. I would say, yeah, you should join the force. But this is the system. The police officers right now, the whole police departments, it appears, is infiltrated with white supremacists. I'm going to get to an article on that. A matter of fact, I had said I wasn't going to do this article, but I think I'm going to do another article on that subject. But with that said, I'm going to end this here. Family, I really appreciate your support. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, peace, love, and Black Power. This is Guru. Take care.